I had a dream last night, this morning. I'm going to try to remember. It's hard to explain. I was a black woman, as I am in all my dreams. And I was like an older, successful black woman and strong and independent. Um, so the idea behind the dream is whatever, put these VR goggles on and then relives a part of the past, like when I was younger, and like you're experiencing it first. Imagine like right now I'm a 70-year-old version of me, and I'm playing a VR game, and I'm reliving this part of my life to redo something or to re-experience something rather. But it turns out I was redoing something. So as the dream goes on, I experiences something in the past, and then I guess like the imagine if the VR world is a world, but there's like a bubble, and you can walk up to the bubble, but you can't pass it. And then when she or I removes the goggles, uh, she or I is standing face to face with a new old version, who's now fat. And she's like, we're gonna have to talk about this. What the fuck happened? And then instead of, you know, you take off the goggles, and then you're the old version. I stayed as the young version. And then I'm looking at this fucked up version of me in the future. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do? And the response is, no, what the fuck did you do? So the idea, I guess, behind this dream is that every day we make decisions. Every day we make decisions on basically what the future looks like and who we are in the future. So each decision we make, we can have very, very different looking futures depending on what we do, how we do it, and how we think and how we feel. So that was pretty. I feel it was pretty profound. It's like, so the idea is now in this movie I made in my head is that she has to do things right in her life to get back to who she's supposed to be in the future. This successful something or other. I tried to redream it when I woke up. And the other thought I had was that, she's successful and wealthy and has all this status and money and blah, 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 but didn't have a family. And then what she thought was what she wanted turned out not to be it. So this is like essentially an opportunity to redo your life. Imagine if you could live your entire life, then press restart. How many things would you change? Now I've complained a lot about things that have happened to me, how people mistreated me and blah blah blah. But I wouldn't take any of those things back. I wouldn't stop any of those things from happening. Which I guess is like even the scary stuff. Like I'm still here, right? So it made me unafraid. I'm unafraid of money. I'm unafraid of death. Like that's a huge one. Like like imagine what I've had to go through to lose the fear of that, and not in an unhealthy way. Like someone who's been to war. I have been to war, but not like that. Um, I thought it was interesting. It was an interesting way to phrase or frame life. I went to dinner with a friend last night who is now following signs and synchronicities and deciding what he wants to do with his life, and he said, I don't drink anymore. Like, he was in the same group of friends as me that, every weekend was party, 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 and the whole next week is recover and then wait for the next party, party, party. And, and we went out. He's like, yeah, I don't want anything to drink. I haven't drank in a long time. Um, and he's starting to see signs and synchronicities, whether it's telling him to stay at his current job or leave. Like, he's actually listening, paying attention. So it's cool to, like, oh, someone else is on the path. Other than that, a lot of the manifestation things I've been reading and learning about talk about detachment. Like, in order to get the thing, you actually have to detach, which is kind of a strange. Like, you want something, but you have to pretend you don't want it. That's weird. Um, I want $10 million in my bank account. I don't care. You can show me 10 million. I won't care. Um, so that concept is strange or interesting, but it also goes along with like stuff in his books. It's like the Kybalion says, if you want something bad enough, the whole universe conspires to get it for you. Now, another interesting synchronicity I experienced this week. Um, I have conversations once in a while with my ex, and they like it feels good. Other than her awful personality, she's great to hang around with. She's uh, yeah, she's a lot of fun. When her walls aren't up, at least. But I was thinking of that Jung quote. Uh, if you hold on to who's leaving, you won't make room for who's coming. And I have seen a lot of sign and synchronicities, even that pointed me to her to begin with, how we met. And then I gaslight myself out of. I'm like, okay, I must have, I read the signs wrong, or I don't know, like, because the real world doesn't look like this is a thing, or that, and it doesn't. She doesn't say anything reinforcing, like whether she loves me or hates me, it would look the same, I suppose. It's hard to, hard to fight reality, whatever reality is. So I asked for a sign when I left the house. I left the house to get like protein shakes from the grocery store. I might have said this already. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure I said this in the last one. And then I saw positive signs. And then drive to the gym, and then 2 streets before the gym ran into her. It's like when I asked the universe for a sign, like, did I misread it? Because the signs in, like, it doesn't mean that we're meant to be together, but meant to be in my life in some capacity, obviously. That means either, well, necessarily, if she's meant to learn from me, I'm also meant to learn from her. It's not a one-way street. And in the absence of a relationship, without being triggered, I could see clearly what was happening while we were together. And then how your expectations, my expectations, formed reality. But it's very hard to, if someone else isn't on board with manifestation, with raising their vibration, with working on themselves, with whatever, it's like, it's very hard, especially as an empath, to be around low vibration energy and not absorb it. But I've also thought, like, what's the point of isolating myself also? Like I was put here on this planet. If I see a better way to do something, a better way to be, I am supposed to share it, I would presume. Like, what's the point of saving yourself if you're the last person on Earth, kind of thing. Um, so the genuine feeling that I get is that there's something at work, some bigger plan that my higher self or God or my angels, someone is pulling strings. And once again, I'm at the point where I don't have anxiety about it. But I find myself fighting my ego. My ego that is scared of being abandoned, scared of being unloved, scared of um, everything that I grew up with. So I'm like catching myself, I'll catch my thoughts going down this rabbit hole of negativity. You know, like, why didn't she respond? Who's she with? Who is he? I'll kill him. Um, but that's not even, that's such a old. I was never really like that, even at my worst. I don't think. But um, you have this feeling, and then your thoughts try to validate the feeling. I feel this way because this is happening. Probably. You start going down the rabbit hole and just trying to fill in the blank. I'm not. I'm feeling this way because this. She's probably doing that. Um, and the weird thing is when we were hanging out the first time, hanging out, not dating. Um, and I ended up blocking her. I ran into a friend. I had like game night with my friends, and my friend showed me his phone. He's like, "Guess what? I'm getting married," and it was a picture of her. And I was like, "That's the last girl I dated." He's like, "Oh no." Okay, I won't respond. I was like, "It's okay. Like, I'd be happy for you. I'd be happy for her. She's a great girl. Like, and I meant it. You know what I mean? It would be hard to pretend I didn't find her attractive still, but I, genuinely, and I told her this. It's like, you're not my property just because we met first. I want you to be happy. You deserve to be happy. If it's with someone I know, like that's, you know, it only sucks if I want it to, but it probably would have like I would be able to be her friend without the fucking weirdness that has come from dating and triggering each other. So, um, that's my genuine thought on that. My genuine like life motto. Unless someone like hurt me really bad. I've been watching Game of Thrones recently, and it's like Tyrion's dad had sex with a woman he was in love with after also sentencing him to death. So like that was like that's a pretty big betrayal. In that case, like I understand, like maybe we shouldn't have these people in our life anymore. That's a little too far, a little bit. But at this stage of my life, like I'm thinking I reached out to people who I wouldn't normally reach out to. I not just healed myself and got over it and saw the purpose of it, but now I'm also looking back and seeing like these people needed help then, and I gave them help in the wrong way, and I took from myself to give to people, and that's not how you help anybody. Like I have to be whole no matter what. So like I have a girlfriend. She's an absolute angel. She has family in Irvine, and she comes up every now and then, and she's like, "I'd love to see you." And while I was in a relationship, I just kind of like avoided it. Like, oh, I'm busy, work or family or whatever. I just didn't do it. And the thing is, like, that girl's single and she's pretty and she's, you know what I mean? She's available. But nothing's happened. We've had years of opportunity to do something and it hasn't happened. But I was like, I don't hang out with women one on one when I'm in a relationship. It's like, I'm the most fucking trustworthy person in the world. I swear I do not know a person I would trust more than myself. Um, I hate that that's true, actually. Um, but I stopped filling my cup. So I would feel weird if I had the conversations with people that I find close to me, like, regardless of if it's in a male body or a female body. It's like, this needs to do stuff. And this needs to do stuff. When I stopped doing it, all of a sudden I started feeling like I was spiraling. And then the person that I was counting on to fill all those holes was like preoccupied with their own pain and process and all this stuff. She wasn't available to meet my needs. Frankly, we hung out a couple times. The most recently we picked her up and we got a massage. The worst massage ever. This lady, I swear to God, 70% of the time just touching my ass, and like too much, too like getting to the center of the put tootsie pop kind of thing. So what are you doing? This is not where my attention is. Look here, here. What the fuck are you playing with my ass for, lady? It's also strange, like you're face down. So I don't even know who's doing it until the end, and I'm like, ew, it was you. Ew, you're so lucky you got to touch me. Um, that was the worst massage I've ever had in my life. Um, I had a massage, a Thai massage, after a car accident, and I didn't tell the lady this is who I am. I didn't tell her my hand was broken here and two of my fingers, and she like this tiny bitch was so fucking strong. I don't know where they fucking get the strength. These little Asian bitches are so fucking strong. I'm not built. I don't have like finger strength. I've got thin wrists and long fingers. It's not the build for grip strength. You know what I mean? It's the exact opposite, in fact. But these little bitches, like, I don't get it. It's like their fingers are made out of metal, like Wolverine or something. Anyways, I remember like she did something in my like alarms are going off in my brain. I'm like, like it hurt so bad. And I just, yeah, that's how much I don't like talking to people. It's like take the finger. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna say anything to you. Um, yeah. So I was this lady trying to fucking penetrate me. I didn't say anything. Now I know how women feel. Oh, I get it. Someone's always trying to penetrate you. My bad. Um, so I didn't enjoy the massage, but look what I did. I put myself in harm's way just to see my ex because I like her face and her smile and you know other stuff. And yeah, the universe keeps pointing me to her, so I'm like, can you just fucking wake up, please? Can you have your spiritual awakening now? Like, so I can talk to the real you and not your fucking HR representative, your fucking ego that's the bouncer at the door. Her ego, there's probably 12 of them, one for each of her personalities. And it's a kind of a thing to deal with because it's like you don't know which one you're going to be talking to. I just have to, I just have to like read the energy that's coming off to know this is allowed to be said now. This is not allowed to be said because the same action, the same words, in one way will be the funniest thing she's ever heard in her life, and we're besties. And at the wrong time, it is like an unforgivable slight against her and added to the naughty list and all this shit. Um, so there's this. I still wake up at between 10 and 4 usually. It's one time I made it till 5, I think. 2 and 4. And I don't know why. Because even like there's no like drama or anxiety around my breakup, my ex. Work is going fine. I just like, why can't I sleep through the night? What's happening? And I guess your pineal gland releases melatonin, which makes you go to sleep. But mine's like broken. And the thing is, I eat pretty healthy. I do have these bullshit shakes. I wonder if that's the problem. I'm gonna cut those out. Fuck you, Whole Foods. That might be it. Because it says there's a little bit of caffeine from cocoa in it. Other than that, I have no idea what's going on. But I've been having those. I've been having them. I guess they could change the recipe without sending me a fucking email or whatever. I wouldn't know. Maybe if I cut that out. Um, I've been really scrawny actually for a while because I've been sticking to my diet and I like having abs. And you can tell by how puffy my face is and how puffy my muscles are that uh, I just yesterday I had like not even bread. We had charcuterie board that had like little thin, long, like a wafer cracker. I had like two of them. I immediately blew up. I immediately like I could wear a tank top and look fine. Whereas like a week ago, I looked invisible. Obviously, like looks good when your muscles are puffy, not when your face and your fucking abs are puffy. What's in the food here? Like one time. I don't think that's normal. I'm gonna put money that that's not normal. All right, so maybe diet. I'll fix it. I'll finish the 4 or 5 I have in the fridge, and I'll stop doing that. But I don't know. I don't know. Another interesting thing. So, someone I work with is going through a hard time. He has a business with family, and they're suing him for like 500,000. So he's afraid he's going to lose 500,000, and he's keeping this from his wife. He said because he used to be a feral animal, and she tamed him, and she gave him life and purpose and children, all this stuff. So he wants to shield her from it, and he has basically this secret burden. And he was explaining it to me and my new spiritual brother. And spiritual brother's like, you're doing this to yourself. There's a lesson in it, and when you learn the lesson, it'll end. And what I think the lesson is they have an unhealthy relationship with money. Like someone someone was telling me how actually this happened a few times. A few people have told me this where like for instance the kid that I met whose parents were executed and he was held hostage by the executioner, held at gunpoint in a police standoff. It's like an amazing, sweet kid. I just tuned his M3. And he was talking about at his parents' funeral, his cousins got into a fist fight with his sister. Like, we knew your parents longer than you did, so we were owed money. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with these people? You know? And then someone else was telling me about how like yeah, something similar where when they were little, like this, there was this very unhealthy relationship with money, and everyone was trying to like pass her off to get more money and to like take basically take ownership of a child away from the mom. so they get money. And then like adults playing weird games, like you're saying things you shouldn't say to kids. Your mom's this, and it's just what the fuck, man. People are disgusting. Like that's when you need family the most, and that's, I guess, it happened to me too. Where what's interesting is even when I didn't have money, people still saw my potential and leached on. That's a weird thing to realize. Like they played the long game. Like this guy's gonna make it. Let me be in his entourage. And another thing I've been learning about in the spiritual manifestation thing is like calling your power back from all dimensions, all realities, from all people, entities, places. And so it is. Call my power back from other timelines, even, so I can get what's meant for me, what's been stolen from me. Because I have had, if I didn't have people holding me back, I'd be 20 years ahead of where I am. And they say God restores all your lost years. But I believe it's when you learn your lessons, it's when you're ready for it. I used to be really lucky as a kid. I used to, like, I'd buy a 7 Up or a Pepsi or whatever. And for some reason, in the 90s, there was like, for years, there was just a perpetual uh, sweepstakes for Pepsi products. And then you can look at the cap, it was like Nintendo or free Pepsi, whatever. And I'd sit there, I'd pick one, and I'd hold it. Free Pepsi, never anything big. I'm like, fuck. And I was too shy to, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with this. Mail it in or hand it to the gas station guy. I didn't really want to talk to people. So I just had a bunch of caps that I can't use. And then I remember thinking, like, I don't want to win anything anymore. I want to win one big thing. I want to stop having good luck all the time. I want one good one. Like, give me one good one. And I missed Bitcoin, so it ain't that. Um, but I wonder if I still just I have that ability. I just stopped using it, and maybe that's how I manifest things or people. Nothing there. Anyways, um, hearing this guy's story about hiding, this guy's talking about family fighting and blah blah blah. Um, his brother told me something the other day in front of people. So he's like, I'm richer than you. I was like, I don't care. And he said, because I'm 11 years younger than you. And he just started being successful, this kid, but you know, I know what's coming down the pipeline for him. Like he needs to stay in this vibration to keep going up. So I didn't want to correct him and make fun of him in front of people, but I wanted to say some people are so poor that all they have is money. So what I have that you don't have is wisdom. That's what you get with 11 more years, you fuck. Um, and this is so the older brother's going through money problems, and they value money more than they should. That's the lesson. Money's good to have, but when you sacrifice who you are, family, shit like this, and what I've experienced also is like when someone's after your money and they find that more important than your lover or companionship or friendship or whatever, you should give it to them. because that money will be cursed. It will turn to poison. No matter how hard they hold on to it, it was ill gotten. And God keeps score. And these people happen to be very religious, devout Muslims. And you know, you'll get it back. You'll get it back tenfold, let's say. But it's this fear and lack mentality that makes money elusive. And in my spiritual quest, I obviously lost this. That's ingrained into us from childhood. Like everybody has a fear of money. Billionaires have a fear of money. That's why they live like that. Um, but money's energy, it's infinite. You're worried about inflation and this and that. Like there's always money. You can always, it will always work. As long as you believe it will, it will. But when you think that money is a finite resource and then it runs out and that this is the last bit, I need to kill my family to get it. So he was saying that he was saying, "Oh, I know someone who's in the a mafia, and like we won't hurt him, but we'll send people. We can solve this." And I was thinking, like, dude, it's like either you believe in God or you don't. Like, what world do you live in that you can do that, and then everything's let them fight for it and let them pay for it. They'll get the money, but they'll have to pay for it. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because of the reward later. But there is a reward, I assure you. In my spiritual fucking theosophy journey, that's what I've learned. The people that came after me, befriended me, and wore fake smiles and pretended to be my cheerleader and shit, you know, they played the long con, but they were short sighted. If their hearts were in the right places, they would have got a lot more. You know, I'm a giving and generous person, and also like I like to see the people around me happy. That gives me happiness. I'm very good at receiving, uh, but it's one of the ways I show love, and I think it's why I've always had more than enough. I also have a weird. I hate being obligated on birthdays and it's Mother's Day, it's this day, it's that day. Go fuck yourself. Don't tell me what to do. If I'm somewhere and something reminds me of someone, I want to buy it for them then. But I hate feeling obligated to do a thing. It takes the. Am I weird? It takes the magic out. It takes like the thoughtfulness out of it. I'm forced to get you something because of this day. I don't know. Cheapens it to me. Maybe it's a hang up I have, but I don't. I've always. There's a lot of things that I realized are spiritual rules that I gravitate away from, like bad. Like I always think it's very ugly to wear your money, to show off your money. Like there's a rubber band in my car that was like I got had some cash that was wrapped in a dirty rubber band, and I cleaned it with hand sanitizer and wore it on my wrist. I was like, this feels better to me than if I had a blinged out watch or played that game. I had a I had like a bracelet that was like ceramic, but it had black diamonds. It was like subtle. I still didn't like wearing that. I gave it to my ex. Um, I know it looks good, like when your outfit's really put together, and but I don't want that kind of attention. I don't want people thinking I'm who I am because of what I'm wearing or what I have. And it's not because I'm overly concerned about the opinions of other people. It's because I can't give a fuck about the opinions of other people. So it's like, okay, so what's the point? So I have to buy this thing, and then I'm worried about where it is and what I touch and like who sees it. Someone will kill you for this shit. If I wore a $50,000 watch, I could do it. But some guy, you know, they follow you home. There was this big car show in Monterey, and apparently it was a shit show because all these kids on social media or YouTube or TikTok or whatever the fuck will follow these hypercars home to their mansions and just like, what do you do for a living? Hey, sir, excuse me. It's like, you'll get shot, you dumb fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Also, like, don't you, you're in the real world. You can't just run up on people. This isn't a video game. So all these like super wealthy, it was like a private exclusive event, and now it's fucked. I don't think it's just going to be new money people there now. It was like Pebble Beach. It was like this ritzy thing. You meet fucking Christian von Koenigsegg and Horatio Pagani and shit like this. I don't think those guys are going to go anymore. Just any fuckhead can just. The whole town is overrun with just some asshole trying to go viral. It's like, have some fucking self respect. Everyone's paparazzi now. Like it used to be like the lowest form is like your life revolves around following. Like you're like a bottom feeder. What a disgusting way to live. And then on that subject, I always thought celebrity worship was weird. Everyone's like, "Who's your celebrity? Who's your celebrity crush? Who's your celebrity hall pass?" I'm like, "What the fuck kind of question is that?" I would like struggle to think about it. I would fuck Jessica Rabbit, I guess. Like people obsessed with shit that doesn't matter. But I've always had, like I said, it's always been in me to just those things always seemed like it gave me a bad taste in my mouth, and now I have learned through experience that those things are soul traps. That's you're giving your energy, you're worshiping a fucking another human being. I think it's so strange to. I think that's why like concerts and shit are bad. You're worshiping just some dickhead, just some guy. Like instead of worshiping the fucking like C.G. Young or Nikola Tesla or fucking Pythagoras, Socrates, just some mumble rapper. The guy Takashi 69 fucking Rainbow Roll. I hate it here. I can't wait for this phase of whatever. Like I was watching an '80s music video, and one like they actually sang in the '80s. Like you couldn't, except for Milli Vanilli, but like the people that got a microphone and stuff, like they at least had what it took without production value, and they sang their fucking asses off. Even like intros for cartoons. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It was just fucking. It was like made you feel good. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Sometimes when you had regular bullshit cable, they would give you a week of Disney Channel for free, and that was our favorite week. And of course, we're not allowed to watch TV unless it was educational, which is fucking it was PBS on Channel 6. There's nothing good on PBS, at least back then. And one time, my brother goes to my mom and he's like crying, hugging her, thanking her for buying the Disney Channel for us. And she's like, she took credit for it, this fucking bitch. She took credit for it. She didn't bother doing it. It's like she's, yeah, okay, just do your homework. Fucking asshole. There's a lot of disturbing stuff Disney was putting out back then. I mean, it's disturbing now, but we had these like VHS Disney tapes. This fucking like it was like weird German art avant-garde type stories. Really upsetting imagery. Really fucking upsetting. I can't. It's like it's actual nightmare fuel. You know, like elephants on parade in Dumbo. That fucking acid trip he went on. Like I drank until I blacked out. Nothing like that has ever happened. Even my acid trip wasn't that bad. Why are you showing me this as a child? That fucking was scary. I didn't like it. Um, yeah, I don't know what the fuck. They throw an apple down a hole and then say apple core. I don't know what the fuck that is. That I mean, that wasn't disturbing, but why was that coming up all the time when I was a kid? You're supposed to just who just has an apple on them to throw it down a fucking hole. And quicksand isn't nearly as big of a problem as I thought it would be. I don't even know where to find it. Anyways, um, somehow the 80s was better, even though I just gave you a bunch of reasons it's not. But people seem to be more real. Also, everyone had abs in the 80s. No one was puffy and fucking waddling around. I see everybody's dad in the 80s, they're fucking jacked. Like, good posture. What the fuck are we doing here? Everything's fucked. I suppose it has to correct. If it goes this way, it has to go that way too. We'll see. I think, especially with like greedy corporations, inflation, shrinkflation, shit like this, they're saying like they're pricing things at what they think they can get away with, not with what it's the cost and whatever it is. And what I really liked in Israel, like kibbutz, it's like the anywhere you go, there's no large commercial bullshit thing. There's a baker, there's a butcher, there's a everyone had a job and it was their community and they're all close because of it. They all know each other. They all like get to even you go to the same sandwich shop and shit. It's like the there's community. People keep the place clean. People, you know what I mean? Why have we taken this out? Of like that's how society's supposed to be. Now just insert a corporation to take everything over, and then well, Amazon gets it here in 2 days. So we have this like genetically engineered fucking wheat that never expires. When I studied abroad in France, I'd go down, I'd walk a block to the bakery, I'd get a hot baguette they just made. I'd eat half of it with my fucking breakfast. Then I came back 4 hours later after class. I'd wrap the shit tight. It's like a fucking baton. Same day. What the fuck is in our bread? It'll be on the shelf for 3 months. What the fuck am I eating? We wonder why everyone's puffy. It's like you're processing fucking chemicals and poison. What do you think is doing to your brain? Or this? Hmm? Hmm. So after I did my like 5 day no food or water fast, even things that I thought were healthy, it's like eating certain greens. It's like, okay, I thought I was doing something healthy eating this, but I can feel my body reject it. It's like maybe I don't know if it's fucking chemicals that are made um, to grow the plant or sprinkled on it after. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Have you heard the potatoes from that burger joint? They spray them with like such like a crazy chemical that anything that touches it dies. No bug, insect, bird, and then they have to like leave it to air out for a couple days before they even start processing it, before a person can touch it. And then they have this beautiful bouquet that sticks out of the fucking fry thing, and you look and it tastes amazing, and you give it to your fucking kids to make them happy. It's called a happy meal. Here you go, Johnny. Have some chemical. That's how my mom pronounces it. I was like addicted to soda growing up. And then if I drank diet, she'd freak out more. She's like, it's chemicals. Are you crazy? It's chemicals and everything, Mom. Everything. Um, yeah, I guess the only thing you can do is just give your body time to process the shit out, which is fasting. Your body will clear that shit out. I talked briefly about my friend's mom, former friend, kind of friend, who has cancer. And the oncologist is like, basically, like, she's going to have it until the end. Like, there's no, she'll be in recovery, but it always comes back. And, it's a hard thing for me to digest. Like, this is the best we can do. And he said his mom has pregnancy brain. She like forgets things, and she doesn't. She's not all there. And when my grandfather got on treatment, he went from lucid and still able to enjoy life to vegetable immediately. Lifelong smoker and drinker, but weirdly quitting is when he got sick. His body was like used to it. It was probably canceling each other out. He probably needed the tar or something to fight off the alcohol and vice versa. Since I can remember, if he coughed, black shit came out. But I took him to get an x-ray on his lungs, and the doctor was like, whatever he's doing, keep doing it. It would shock his system if he changed it. And my mom and my grandma kept telling him to quit. The doctor said if you keep smoking and keep drinking, don't even bother coming back. That's not what he said. And their hearts were in the right place. But I'm pretty confident that's what did it. And then the panic of what do? We need to hold on to him. Let's give him the harshest chemical cocktail known to man. To, heart in the right place. I'm sure if he knew this is the day you're gonna die, how do you want to spend the next 2 months? He'd want to drink, he'd want to smoke, he'd want to go to Las Vegas, he'd want to gamble, he'd want to fuck around, not be in a hospital bed. And it really put things in perspective. It's like that was one of the things that got me to break away from the mold my mom wanted me to be in. It's like, you have your life to live. Don't tell me how to live mine. And it went, everything that she said to do. If there's any drinking, any of my kids that drink, they'll be written out of my will. It's like, I wasn't drinking and she was threatening me. I was like, go fuck yourself. I don't need any of your money. It's like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I was not drinking on my own. You want to take credit for the things that I do? Go fuck yourself. And then I flew a little too close to the sun. I'm like, oh, this is why you don't do it. So every single time it could have ended my life. And it doesn't have to end your life to fuck things up for a while. To circle back to that dream is like everything that we do. So how I treat people today will have a ripple effect into the future. And that's been happening my whole life unconsciously. And I wasn't always careful with what I said and how I talked to people and the energy I was putting out of the world. So I'm making more of an effort because the older version of me that puts on that VR headset to come back shouldn't want to change anything. I have the power to do everything right in the moments now. To be patient, to be understanding, to be loving, to be a good role model, a good person, a good, you know, example of a human being. It's within my power now. If you see this movie being made in Hollywood, I wouldn't be mad. Take my idea, make something new at least. Not fucking Fast and Furious 13. Isn't it weird? They started off stealing VCRs and now they're like in spaceships and shit. What a trajectory. You can tell Vin Diesel produces the shit. Doesn't make any fucking sense. What do you expect from a guy that plays Dungeons and Dragons? Sorry, Vinny. Fuck you. Ah. I heard Henry Cavill's a nerd. I wish I was his friend. I never played World of Warcraft, but he said he was playing World of Warcraft when he got the call to be Superman. He was like, sorry, I missed your call. I was saving someone's life. I was like, you, sir? I want to know you. He was also in The Count of Monte Cristo. Little known fact. Go watch it. When he was young. Good movie. Alright, I have to get ready for talking to people in real life. My least favorite thing. And I guess the moral of this one is pay attention to who you are today because it determines your future. That's that old Lao Tzu quote. Pay attention to your thoughts, they become your actions. Pay attention to your actions, it becomes your habits. Pay attention to your habits, it becomes your destiny. I shortened it for sure, but I'm in control of my destiny, so I want it to be a good one. I want to have good people around me. I want to have the right people around me. I feel like I'm on the timeline that I do everything right, that I get everything that I want, that I have the best possible ending, happy ever after. That's what I feel. I feel like I get more in tune with the universe as I'm going. It's my universe, so I guess I was always in tune with it. I'm just realizing it now. Okay, off I go. Thank you, and I'll see you during the week. Bye.